I still, to this day, think I have a pretty robust short game. And it goes back to you and fundamentals you installed in me. And we worked hard.
Yeah, we did.
Well, this is quite the day. I'm delighted to say I've got the hottest man in golf right now, Dan Grieve, has come to join us back on the road with Iona for a short game session. Dan, thank you so much for finding the time to fit this in. I know how busy you are. It's great to be back. And for a little bit of history and update, Dan and I used to work together way back in the day.
Many years ago.
When I was playing golf full time as an amateur and then as a professional, and my short game was so good because of you, Dan.
We spent so much time, and I remember we sort of did every week, didn't we? We did a couple of hours every week.
Yeah, we're talking like 2013.
2013, yeah, and you got it to a really good level.
Yeah.
And your long game was a little bit scratchy at times, but your short game saved you. So I'm really keen to see how it's lasted. I don't think I've seen you hit a chip shot for, what, 9 years or so?
9 years.
8-9 years.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Let's see what you've remembered. How has it been sort of when you have played? What's been good and bad?
Well, it's been rusty, as you can imagine, because I don't practice really the way I used to. And the first thing that goes is the touch and the feel. But I think the basics that you instilled in me are still etched deeply in my soul.
Because we did lots on that, didn't we? The fundamentals.
Yeah, but you know, we did a lot, and I think, as you know, we wrote a lot down. I was a student of the game, and I studied it really hard. I was coming into golf late. I didn't have the luxury of that trial and error. And like you say, I was struggling with really, at the time I had neck injury and wrist injury. And so my long game wasn't reliable, but I knew come hell or high water, I could rely on my short game. And that's one of the things that I love talking about in golf, is especially as a female player, because it's about finesse, because it's about touch, there is no excuse really not to...
No reason you can't be the best short game player in the world, male or female.
Exactly. How many of your students that you work with now, Dan, are male and female? You work with everybody?
Yeah, I've obviously done a lot with females over the years, a lot on tour with players like Charlie Hall and Georgia Hall, and you know, yourself and Itzy Mehmet and lots of players, but obviously coach a lot of guys now as well. So I enjoy coaching players right across the board.
I knew the secret of Dan Grieve before the world knew the secret of Dan Grieve. 8 to 10 years ago, I thought I would keep the secret, and I was very happy I found you, but now the secret's out and everyone knows that you're the guy. So we're going to go through today, guys, on this session, we're going to just go through some of the short game fundamentals, chipping around the green. This is a stock session on sharpening the short game. I have not done this in years, so I'm really, really excited to do this, and I hope that you enjoy it too. Right,
I think we should start with the stock basic chip and run shot.
Okay.
So we're going to go from a fringe fairway lie.
Yep.
What loft have you got in your hand?
Got a 54.
A 54.
So if I was going to do a chip and run, I probably wouldn't use this club.
Okay, well we're going to go to that back pin. So use what you would normally use.
So I've just added this 50 degree. I used to have a 52 and a 60 only.
Yeah, okay.
And there was too much space, so I've had to fill it in a little bit.
Yeah.
54, the 50.
I think 50 is a good call here.
You think 50?
Yeah. Now if we're doing this in winter, we'd say maybe a 9-iron. But I think because it's firmed up a bit, a little bit of check with a 50, but enough to run out is perfect.
Okay.
Here we go, come on.
I'm under the VDI.
First time in years, here we go. There you go. You haven't forgotten it all, have you?
There's one thing I remember that I think of you all the time, and it was how much time we spent talking about the chest and the way that the chest controls the motion. I haven't had the luxury of watching much of your stuff on YouTube, but I constantly save your videos when I see you working. I'm like, I must watch that, I must watch that. You know what it's like, schedules, time, and I haven't, but they're no secret. I haven't had any refreshing before our time today together. Well,
listen, that was good.
But I remember you always talking about the way the chest controls the body, and that has stood me in good stead. Yeah,
I remember we did talk about different releases as well, which was quite interesting as well. And there, you know, talk about like my release 1, 2, 3 system. That was just the perfect release one there.
Right.
Okay, that's the chip and run action. So let's see 2 more.
Okay, of the same shot.
Yeah. If you were going to get a bad one, what would it be? Would it be a little heavy or a little clean, or just? It
would be a little clumsy.
Okay.
And maybe a rush of blood, rush of adrenaline, and it comes hot off the face.
Quick off the face, Okay, one more.
Dan, just to say, this is obviously a low chip and run shot. Could be quite an important shot for me coming up, because I am going to open qualifying it on the 29th of July. I've got links golf in my mind, but Delamere is the first stop, so not entirely linksy.
Yeah. So that would be the one I don't really like.
Yeah.
See, that wasn't quite... I know it's not a bad result, but it was a bit clunky, wasn't it? It wasn't really had the control that you really wanted there. There's enough good things in there, just a few little bits to work on if you stand this side. So I like your stance and your ball position and slight shaft lean is all really good. You are getting quite tilted here, so your right shoulder is getting a bit low, it's got a long game style. It's great if you want to hit a driver to load that way, but really in short game, we've got to get you rotating better, more this way, as you alluded to. But it's going to be much easier with a higher right shoulder than a low right shoulder. And then when you go back in the backswing, you've got very little hip movement. At the moment, it's just with the hands and arms, and it goes a little bit under, and that's why sometimes you'll bottom out early here. So I want you to get the shoulders more in line. I want you to get the handle a touch higher as well for the chip and run shot, and I want you to focus on this right hip just working a little bit more behind you. And that's going to allow you then to flow and rotate better. Because you're quite static with this right side here, it's hard really to work that way enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But you've got enough good bits in there, like the release is good. So you set up to the ball.
Okay.
I'm going to get you world class over the ball.
Love it. So would you say it's more of a full body movement in that sense?
Yeah, you're just kind of using hands and arms a little bit too much at the moment. Okay. And that's why the ball comes off hot at times.
Yeah.
So if you drop the club on the ground for a second, actually, good drill you can do anywhere that you can't do wrong, like TV drills you can't do wrong. Put your thumbs together like this, elbows in, hands sort of just above your sort of waist there, and then get into a nice bit of posture and just make a movement back and a movement through, and don't think too much about it. And you see where your hands are going, see how your hips are moving. So if we can get you looking like that with a club in your hand, we're in business.
Okay. Cool.
Can you feel it moving more?
It's very different. I really didn't realise how locked I'd become.
And can you feel your triceps just a bit more connected to the rib cage, so the right side just rotates more going back. It's going to give you more flow, it's going to give you better control of the ball. And
especially under pressure, because I think under pressure is where I get that hot
you get short and arms in, you just sort of bunt it. Yeah, and we need more flow in there, So I want the handle just a little bit higher. Okay. I noticed on that last one, the heel dug in. Do you feel it? So I want that toe a little bit more down. Okay, and I want to get the shoulders more that way. Does that feel a slight tweak this way? Left shoulder feels a bit lower. Left shoulder is now more over the left foot. It's going to help. When you get the shoulders more in a level position, it helps you move in a more rotational manner.
Like that.
Okay, Now when you go back at the moment, you're quite locked here. Okay. So really as you move back, you'd want to have a little bit more movement that way. Okay. Can you feel that? Okay. And then the hands start working a little bit more in, and then they encourage to work more in as you come through the ball. Slightly higher handle, shoulder is lovely there. Nice and relaxed. I'm going to test your grip pressure. Don't cheat it. Go where you feel you would normally be. You're in a match, your first hole, qualifying, whatever, and you got this shot. That's where you normally would be. That's very good. You've remembered it. I like it. The grip pressure is light. That's perfect.
Okay, nice.
Right, so let's have some rotation with that right side, and let's open up through the ball a little bit better. Okay, a little bit longer backswing, a little bit more rotation with that right side. So that's more like I want the ball to come off. You see it spinning a few times before it's running out? With that right foot as well, just be careful you don't pinch it inward. Because when you're turning it in, you see it puts the hip into more internal rotation, and it's going to be hard for it to move that way. So if anything, I'd want the right foot for you to be slightly closed and maybe even just slightly open it, like flare it a little bit.
I've got a flashback to deep in 2013 where you got me with these two T's in the ground, and I had my toes just ever so slightly flared. That was for release 3, I think. But I remember we stood there with little T-pegs there and there.
Just getting those basics right, We don't want that foot pigeoned in this way. Okay. So open it out a little bit. Get your heels a bit closer together, actually. That's it, and then the foot more this way. And just, I mean, that might seem such a small little change there, but if you take a backswing, does it feel like the right hip can just move a bit more?
It's chalk and cheese, that, I feel so different, but...
Good. So that right hip moved beautifully there, and that's the sort of shot I want to see.
Wow.
It's not racing towards the hole, it's got some check on it. Okay? Good. One more. Get a little bit brave with that backswing, a little bit more rotation. Nice. Good shot. See, it's pulling up. Okay.
Really nice,
So it's flowing. That's good. Okay, what about the short one here? What about these short shots? Obviously a bit more loft. We'll go back a few yards, so you can't putt it. So
going back to our days, because I often find myself on the golf course trying to remember our lessons and thinking, okay, let's think about this.
Yeah, good.
And a lot of it was always the landing zone and how will it release?
Yeah.
You know, where will it land? How will it release?
Yeah.
So I guess with this one, you could play it two ways, but it's asking for something that it's a soft lander, isn't it? So I'd probably from this position go to my 54. And I remember again, I've always felt, particularly, believe it or not, on links, very confident with my 60 degree.
Yeah.
Remember you saying more loft isn't the answer.
Yeah.
You know, try to only use that loft in emergency.
Yeah.
And so I sometimes go, come on, Iona, you can do this.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But
You're on 54 there?
54,
Yeah.
and I'm going to try and land this maybe around here.
Yeah. I think the big lesson there for people watching, the routine is so important. And it's great that you're still thinking like that, because I think so many people lose routine. The number one thing is read the lie. What is the lie like? Because the lie tells you what shot and what shot you can't play.
Yeah.
Secondly, you choose where you then would like to land the ball.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, you choose the loft. So it's lie, land, loft. Just for people watching, if they can do that routine, it'd be amazing how many shots they'll save.
Yeah.
Because most people, I think, pull the club first.
Yeah.
Without really looking at the lie.
And they try
and
and
then
make
they'll
a
try and
shot.
make it work.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you've done it to the right way around there.
That structure and that routine, you know, going back to those days where, again, just a reminder, I was starting golf late, I didn't have the luxury of time, we were catching up. And people ask me, how did you do that in such a short space of time? How did you go from picking up golf to +4 within such a short space of time? It was structure and knowing routines and processes.
And it was really developing your golfing IQ. We just had to
Yes.
accelerate that massively because, like you say, a lot of your contemporaries have played golf for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So just by playing, you pick up the IQ.
Yes.
But I feel we did a good job of accelerating that.
Definitely.
By the time we spent on it, and obviously the routine you've got there.
Yeah.
Which helps you do it. Right, okay, let's have a look there. Tight pin there, and it's firm and it's downhill, so we need a bit more control now.
Yeah.
So that bounced a bit there, didn't it?
Yeah,
Were you trying to release the club a bit more there or not?
Well, there's a couple of things going in my mind. If I'm really honest, I feel like I've got a stock shot now, which isn't one you taught me. I've made it up. And it feels like basically I'm slicing the ball. And I find that I've gotten away with it there. But it's
a good shot, though. It's a toe down shot. I do teach that. So you go toe down and you go a little bit more out to in. And you could probably go a little bit more out to in you think there.
Yeah, it's like, and it's going in the back pocket, isn't it?
And it's good for these firm lies.
Yeah.
It's a good link shot if you've got to get a bit of finesse off the ball, yeah.
So I was in between the first one I played there.
So let's try that's a shot. Definitely keep that shot in your locker.
Yeah.
But let's play this as a release 1. So I don't want you to start releasing this too much.
Okay.
So it's very much this front hip release here, okay?
Yeah.
So just finish a little bit shorter. See, that's what I want to see. It's just checking a bit more.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So when it's firmalized like this, you don't want that club to be releasing because it can kick. You want to be finishing much more there.
Okay.
It's a little more pinch to it. Like you say, or you could do a toe down and a cross one. Depends on the situation you're in. See, that's nice. You just got a little bit softer in your hands there.
Yeah.
Really focus on your landing spot. So it's here. Okay. Yeah, it's good. Love the technique.
Hot.
Maybe because we are so close to it and it's quick and downhill, 60. You might even want to do this with 60.
Yeah.
Absolutely, else it'll just check even more. So I think what you're doing now is you're slowing down and trying to make it work. Just play a couple with 60.
Yeah.
Play it, that's disrelease one way, and it's because it's so quick. I think what we'll see, that first bounce it'll just spin a lot more. And some people say it's emergency. Well, this isn't quite an emergency, but you know, at your level, this is a good club to use just to spin it a little bit more on the downslope. You see, that first bounce just deadens then.
It's perfect.
So that's the shot.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not an absolute emergency, but I still think this is the right club here for you.
Yeah, it was such a short release, isn't it?
Super shot. Good touch.
Yeah.
Right. Should we
Nice.
make things tougher? Should we play a softer shot now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Short-sided, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's
Do
get
you think it's still there, Dan?
What's that?
Do you think it's still there?
Oh, God, yeah. I think it's got better.
Okay, nice. Awesome. A lot has got better, I'm pleased to say.
Right, so we're in this situation now where we have the pin there, sharp downslope, less green to work with. That shot you played at the beginning, that little low chip and run, it's an option. You could play something like that, play it low and get it skipping down the slope. But I'd like you to play the shot where you're going to now play up there and spin it a little bit, so you're getting more of that type of shot where you take the slope out of play.
So good.
Okay, you can do that.
So classy.
Right, this is what I call release 2.
Okay.
Okay, so it's working more this way. All those years ago, was I using 1, 2, 3?
You were, yeah.
I was, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
I
did
thought I
learn
was.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
My brain loves that, like categorizing stuff, so it worked really well for me.
Yeah.
And I honestly think, my short game was probably +4.
Yeah.
And my long game with my neck and wrist
yeah.
injury was probably 10.
Yeah, but you can.
Handicap-wise,
good results. It was good. What loft have you got now?
I've got the 60.
Let's not use your 60.
Okay.
Bring your 60, but let's use 54. I don't want to make it too easy for you. I like you to train harder than you play.
Absolutely. Just while I'm grabbing these, Dan, what do you think makes a good short game player?
Versatility and IQ, like having the real ability to read the lie and change how you release a shot, change how you the club you use, and actually getting that versatility to adapt. Like, too many players just have one shot, and a lot of people get scared by that. I think, oh, it's too difficult, but it really isn't. It's so simple. If you can just understand how the setup changes, and the setup a lot of the times will change the swing for free.
Yeah.
You know, just getting those setup basics absolutely right for the shot you've got. So 54 is the right club here. It's almost like if you hit this too high, you won't spin it enough. You want like a mid-flight here, landing it, you know, good sort of, 3-4 yards right at the pin, but I want to see some check on this first bounce now, okay?
Okay.
How has this shot been generally when you've got to play a bit more of a controlled shot like this?
Pretty good. I say that because I've probably not played many of them.
Yeah.
I think what I've done in the last few years is I've been returning to golf, and I've been, first of all, getting my long game back in play. I had this kind of stock short game shot I was using everywhere, Dan, where it was like I felt everything locked in, including my wrist, and I was just...
It's sort of a little bunt, and
but
it kind of works, doesn't it?
And if I wanted the bunt to go a bit higher, I'd just add a bit more loft, bunt it a bit like that. And now I feel, okay, that was just to get me back into things. Now I'm ready for a bit more flair, a bit more developing.
Yeah, good.
Let's get back.
Yeah.
So this is kind of getting back to this for the first time, I suppose.
Let me just watch you play a couple first. So it just jumped on you a bit there, didn't it? Okay, have one more.
Yeah. Whoa.
Right. Some good bits there. Right, I'll tell you what you're doing well and what you need to improve. Setup's quite nice. You got a little bit wider. Ball has moved to the left heel, which is good. Shaft angle is neutral, not in front, which is keeping the bounce and loft on. You're getting the club to a nice position, like you are getting it into that toe-up position, which is really important, not having it this way. So you are there, which is good. What you are doing, though, you are what I call, you're making the release of the club happen instead of letting it happen. There's a real big difference between the two. So you look a bit like this. You're here. You're a bit short as well, by the way, which kind of, one of the reasons you have to then put some force into it. But you're making the club release. Yes. You see? So I'm in slow motion. If we look at how the shaft is working, it'll look quite good. But in real time, you're putting energy into it, rather than what you've actually got to do is just get a little bit more length in the swing, and I want you to get a lot lighter with your thumb pressure. Like, you've definitely got too much thumb pressure, and that's creating a bit of a pull, and then you're really having to work the club with the wrist rather than just letting it happen. And if you're light enough, if I put my club there, look, and I let the club fall, you see it swings, doesn't it? So what we're trying to do is just let the club swing and just support it with your chest. Whereas what you're doing is you're making the club work.
Got you.
Okay, which is kind of the first phase, that's fine, but we've got to soften it to get that spin, right? So yeah, get set up there again.
Okay.
Get the thumb pressure a little lighter. Can you feel the pressure here being really relaxed, okay? Right, now take it back, and you've got to go longer. So come back again. You've got to feel like there's more of this. Feel this would be this. If you put your left hand only on it and hold your sort of chest and arm into your sides and put your thumb on your chest, so you're really connecting here. And then as you come down, apply pressure. So I don't want the top of the arm to come away. Can you feel the bottom of the arm, the release is happening there, and how the club is just sliding? You feel it flow?
Yeah.
That's it. So the energy is in the club head, not the handle. That'd be a really good exercise if you feel like you're getting a bit quick on these and a bit drivey.
We are hinging.
We are hinging, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're gripping it light enough and you're trying to get wide enough, the hinge will happen for free.
Yeah.
You're almost getting a bit too active. I want you to go wide and let it slide.
Interesting, because there's one thing I remember, again, going back to my memory book, is something around where you told me to not let the butt of the club get too far away from the sternum. Is that something? Yeah,
exactly, yeah. So what you tend to do is you go this way. So I want you to feel like you're just letting it, the butt of the grip, you see, should travel like this. Here. Go this way.
So it can travel on the way back, but not
I want you to be
forward.
narrower as you go through. So it's here.
Yeah.
And it works this way.
Got you.
Good. You're giving me content for my next book. The stuff I've forgotten I used to talk about.
Yeah. I've got it all up there, Dan. Don't worry.
Right, all I want to see here is a longer backswing
Yeah.
and a really soft transition.
Okay.
I want you to really just let the weight of the club fall. I'm almost daring you to decelerate.
Okay.
Okay, you won't, but that's your feeling.
Okay.
Let the club drop more. Close. 10% better. You can be much softer than that.
Okay.
I know you're thinking great result, but you know, got higher standards than that. Right, nice and relaxed. Okay, just let the club drop. Okay, there we go. That's good. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
That went from one extreme to the other there, right? That's fine, that's good. We're doing the Goldilocks approach. Yeah, I like that. Now that's the first one you've played properly. See the spin?
Yeah.
That was good. Now you've got to get a bit bolder because now your ball is coming off as it should.
Yeah.
Your brain will go, okay, can I just get a little bit further back now? Okay, and you'll start to then measure it. See it a bit?
How's that?
That was okay. A little bit speedy still. Take your thumbs off the grip and do some practice swings. And when you do that, tell me what you feel.
Natural momentum.
Yeah, good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what we need a bit more of, with sufficient turn and rotation. That's amazing. That's world class. That's absolutely as good as it gets. No one in the world could hit it better than that.
Wow.
That's as good as it possibly gets. Did you
Yeah.
feel it?
I kept my thumbs off it.
Yeah, interesting.
Didn't even put them back.
Yeah, so you could do that. I mean, so when I play this shot, it might look like my thumbs are on the grip, but they're not. I mean, they're just like that.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, that was as good as it gets.
Yeah, I felt
Okay.
so good. Like really natural, the momentum and the weight of the club does it all for you, really.
And the spin of the ball on the downslope.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Ooh.
Do you feel the difference? Like you slightly didn't trust it as much. You've hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, miss hit's going in the hole are good, but
I know.
it wasn't quite as soft, was
No,
it?
I didn't quite let it just go, and I just last second tried to
Yeah.
help it, which ultimately didn't help it.
You pressure out your thumbs. I want you to get really aware of. Take it back. Take the backswing there. That's it. So that you've turned. Don't go crazy with the wrist hinge. Kind of
Okay.
there's good. It's all about getting awareness of this part of the swing.
Right.
See that?
Yeah.
You've got to be able to feel exactly where that club head is in transition, and you've got to be patient. Be patient. Let the club fall. Like if my mind was speaking out loud
Yeah.
when I'm playing this shot, it'd be, take it back, right over to you, gravity. I'm here all day. When you're ready, okay, now you're moving. I'll just move through with you.
Ah,
You
right.
see? So you've got to wait for it. Let it fall. And then your chest just picks it up and turns through, yeah? Shot. Look at that, it's in the holster. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the good. So the holster finish is just a sign that you're so relaxed and it's just working down this way.
Nice.
Yeah, you're not holding it tight.
It's sort of coming back to me now, but
yeah.
I was a long way away from it.
Yeah, I don't think you'd have got that because you were just too forceful with it all.
I was just this and this, just
Yeah.
my choppy
You
thing. That's
didn't really have the awareness of where it was and how
No.
it was releasing.
forgotten how soft it all feels.
Yeah.
When you do allow it to feel soft, it's so effortless. It's a
Yeah,
wonderful feeling.
I think in my experience with golfers, I mean, everyone grips it way too tight,
Yeah.
way too tight, and they feel like they're gripping it tight to try and get control. But really, when you grip it lighter, it actually gives you a lot more control.
Yeah.
So you've got to give up control to get it.
Much like life.
There we go. Little life lesson as well.
Life, I'm getting some therapy here from Dan.
Just hit it a bit. You feel it?
Yeah.
Come on, really let it fall now. Really soft, really relaxed. Yeah, nicely
That was
done.
it.
That was flowing beautifully.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And you can do many versions of this as well. I want you to be clear. Like if you're going for this pin here, it's quick, it's downhill, lie's okay, so we check the lie first. Play the ball forward and just do a mini version of it where you're just going this way.
Okay.
So rather than doing a 1,
Yeah.
just play a little mini 2 in there
Okay.
and just to spin it a little bit more. Just a bit of insurance on these quick ones. So same shot, just a mini version of what we just done.
Okay.
See the spin? That first second bounce, and it just slowly works down. So you can just think about the release pattern. This is a low spinning release, okay?
Yeah.
And this is a higher spinning release if the
Yeah.
lie allows it, yeah?
If I had this shot, this one we were practicing here in a tournament, I've got my 54. Do you think this is the right club, or would I use a 60?
It's a good question. I think if you practice this enough and you've hit 2 really, really great shots there, and if you practice enough, I'd expect you to be able to do it with a 54 8 times out of 10 like
Yeah.
that. Then I would use 54. The 60, in my view, should stay on the back for emergency use only.
Yeah.
Right? Really, when you really are in trouble. You're not in trouble here. You can use a 60, and if you're really highly skilled and you're practicing a lot, absolutely. The problem with 60 is if you get a little bit slow, the ball starts riding up the grooves, which you felt that sometimes.
Yeah, and you get that high.
And it just
whiffy
goes
one.
nowhere. Yeah. The thing is with a 54, if you get like 10% slow with a 54 in terms of speed, you'd barely notice it. You get 10% slow with 60, it's barely getting on the green. So if you're practicing enough, 60 is a great club, but you've got to be super consistent with your speed control.
Yeah.
Right, it's just a harder club. It'll give you loads more spin. It will spin more, but equally you don't want to start hitting it too high as well. You know, landing on a downslope, getting a big kick. So I think 54 would be the club.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Just try and play a little softer.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. You see, why wouldn't you use a 54 if you can play it like that?
Yeah.
That'll promise you're going to be more consistent than a 60.
It's beautiful. When you start to trust it, you don't have to rush anything, and it's like you've got all the time in the world.
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel that was just 10% quick?
Yeah, and I feel like I'm at that stage where my brain's still thinking just before the shot, have I got everything right? So it's there.
That's it. Think about just letting that ball hang. I want it hanging in the air, just soft, lots of spin. And that's the beauty about this shot. I mean, you hit that, say, 1.5 inches behind, it's a great shot.
Yeah.
You do want to be hitting this before the ball, ideally about sole width. If you hit more than that, you'll get that one there, but that's people get scared of this shot, but it's a massive margin for error.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd really duff that, really, but you've hit it to like 3 feet.
I know.
It was a good shot.
Yeah.
That's pure. That's pure. Here we go. We've got a bit of finesse and a bit of flair in there.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
I need to do a bit of practice on that, but I think maybe 20, 30 balls later I'd be feeling more confident.
Yeah, you would do, and just repeating it and putting the reps in on that movement, you'll get it. Should we check out some bunker play?
Yeah, let's do that. I always loved it. Dan and I spent hours in the bunker, and you were the guy that taught me you can never have a bad lie in the bunker.
Okay, look at that.
Do you
I do remember
that?
that. I think that's in the book, yeah.
And I still think of that. Come on, Iona. I've just been.
There's no such thing as a bad lie.
We just went to Troon, Dan, and I got 2 of the most stinking lies you've ever seen, and I thought to myself, what would Dan say? And I just put them both to like within 5 feet.
No such thing as a bad lie, it's just different techniques. You understand whether it's down or it's up or it's tight sand or lots of sand. I've just gone and grabbed my 60. Is that jumping to conclusions there? You are slightly. Go 54 as well. Okay. Yeah, we'll have both, yeah? Well, let's stick with 60. Use your 60. I've given you a friendly lie. So we've got about a 12-yard bunker shot. Yeah. Down a quick slope. I like that left foot flare. You haven't forgotten that, have you? No, I haven't. I haven't. Very good. Well done. Thank you. I mean, just look, you look quite confident. Yeah. Now, I can just tell when a player feels confident, and you just look like confident over that shot. I like bunkers. I feel quite confident in them, and I remember a couple of things that we worked on. And again, just for absolute clarity, I haven't had the luxury of watching any of your content, sadly, but I have so many fond memories of the time we spent together, and I remember talking about 2 things in the bunker: the straight spin over the shoulder. Yeah. And then occasionally we worked on a cut spin, and then sometimes we had that release spin where we were trying to get it. Draw it for a longer bunker shot, or cut it for a short one, or for a tight lie. Yeah. Yeah, cool. I think under pressure, I feel most confident doing the cut spin. If I was feeling really under pressure, that's the one I tend to lean back to. So that's the one, it's okay, isn't it? That came out a little bit lower spinning. A little bit heavy, but I've got away with it. Yeah, no, it's okay. What I would say, you look really good. I would just get your pelvis forward a little bit more this way. Okay. And then get your upper, for this type of sand, then get your upper body slightly back. Okay. Your divots are slightly deeper than I'd like. Okay. So if you go a little bit steeper with lower, and a little bit more down with the right shoulder at address, it's good. Then you can feed it under, you see a little bit more. Yeah. It's coming out with that kind of straight spin. Yeah, that's what we want. Then you can start holding them then, yeah? Yeah. Good. Right, one other little thing. Okay. Is if you set up to it there. Yep. Your divots are just going a little bit left. You see this? A little bit too far to the left. So set up to it. Take your backswing. Can you turn a little bit more this way? And I want you to keep this right arm like more attached. It's coming a little bit away this way. Okay. So I want you to imagine that is staying glued onto you. Yep. Glued on as you release and as you turn. Okay. Without letting this arm break the line and come out. Okay. So if I put a line in the sand here. Okay, here. I wouldn't want you to break this. I want you to feel like your R coming back down is back this way. Yeah. I don't want you to come out at the bottom. Okay. And that's why you're getting some pulls there as well. Yeah, yeah. Just feel like that right arm stays close as you And your rotation through the sand is like pretty late. Like it feels like you're coming from the inside and you release and come round the corner late.
Okay.
And that, again, it's going to put a bit more spin on it as well. Pelvis forward a bit more.
Okay.
That's it. Right, glue the right arm on and bring it round the corner. How did that feel?
Felt
like
a
spin.
pure strike. Yeah. It's just...
Better. Still think you could come a little bit more. You've got to feel a bit more draw feel coming down.
Interesting. Okay. So it's like
not with the club face, with the path.
It makes you think you're going to fat it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Because you're still moving left through the ball. Okay, with that rotation. Now that's the one. Now watch the spin now.
Wow.
Yeah, almost came back. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, that's more like it. I mean, it's good to have a little sort of, the old chunk and run is a good shot to have, you know, you want that, but you also need that sometimes, you know, when you're just going to stop dead. Right arm attached, our right arm stays on, allow the right side to turn back. Good shot, good shot. See the spin on the ball?
Yeah.
Beauty.
Unreal that.
Yeah, really good.
I think if you take sand, then how do you get spin? What's the answer to that?
To spin the ball, the sand's got to go under this way, it's got to work under the ball this way. So with you sort of setting up to sort of 50-50 with your weight, it's very difficult to get that. You've got to get this way to be able to work it here. And it's really as well just keeping it nice and shallow, like just skipping the sand. You've got to skip the sand, not drive it.
Yeah.
Sharp. Perfect.
That's exactly
perfect.
It. Right arm attached.
That is perfect. That is really good. So it's staying attached as you're coming in here.
Yeah.
And then it's releasing this way.
Feels easier, and especially under pressure, because every time things get disconnected, it's like, uh-oh.
And I know what you're thinking. Well, you know, bunker shots have been taught to swing out and across for the last 150 years, haven't they? But, you know, bunkers have got better these days. The sand's good. The technology's amazing. The wedges.
Yeah.
Understanding's got a bit better. You've got to feel like you're swinging from the inside, and then you strike, and then you get round the corner late.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally counterintuitive.
Yeah.
The brain's telling you it wants to do this again.
Yeah, exactly.
This feels safe.
Yeah.
Thankfully, some of my first short game lessons ever were with you.
Yeah.
So I always had probably a slightly more modern
More
take.
neutral, yeah. Good.
Same again?
Yeah, one more. Yeah, got it, haven't you? I mean, that's going. Great shot. Seriously good. What about that pin there?
Yeah.
Really quick, barely any green to work with. Show me how you play a shorter one.
This is always such a hard shot. This was always such a hard shot.
So we want it a bit higher and a bit more spin.
Okay.
So have you got a bit lower there?
A wee bit lower, hands a bit lower.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we want.
Maybe balls similar, hands a bit lower, and then I'm thinking more shallow.
Okay, let's see. I wouldn't get shallower, I wouldn't think that way. I love how low you got.
Okay.
So on these ones that you just got to pop out, you've got to get like right down here, like almost onto the steel. And I'm like really sitting down. And when I get this low, I can't really move my chest too much. It's just really just popping it there.
Oh, nice.
And that's how you can still play it there. But you see how low it's just that.
Yeah.
But really down here, the more you get down here, you can't start turning too much, creating too much power.
That looks so good. Yeah. You make that look so easy.
I've done it a few times, haven't you?
How's your overall golf, Dan?
Short game's all right.
Yeah.
The swing needs a bit of work because I've just been so busy. Like you, my swing's kind of gone a bit. And it's just hard to find the time, isn't it?
It is hard, yeah.
That's why it's great. You're actually putting some time into it. And
I'm trying to find it.
It's great. Put the ball a little bit further back. Don't get it too far forward. That's a bit of a myth as well. Get the ball forward, you end up taking too much sand then.
Okay.
So really get down.
Is it the same feeling of connected?
Yeah, really down here though. Yeah, down and just go this way. Okay. Keep the hands kind of in between your knees. Like you only want to go there to there.
Okay.
Brilliant. Got it.
Yeah. Nice.
Very good.
Yeah.
Picking up quick.
All coming back to me.
Go on, one more. Sharp. Brilliant.
Thanks.
Quality. You've got all the shots you need.
Love
Does
that.
That makes sense?
Yeah, what about, we did release 1, 2, and where's 3?
Yeah. 3 is if you want to hit a lob shot or you really want to hit a high bunker shot. Okay. Do we hit a lob shot?
Let's do one of those to finish this session.
Okay. Right, okay. So we're going to play lob shot now. So we've got an okay lie. If we didn't have a good lie, it doesn't need to be a good lie even. If you didn't have an average lie, let's say it was sitting down in a bit of a hole.
Yeah.
That would be quite a difficult shot to play, and there you might just want to take your medicine. You might just want to hit down and sort of just try and get the ball first and understand that actually, the best you can do is that.
Yeah.
And just take your medicine. But if you've got a good lie or an okay lie, you now have a license to let the club really release here using now the trail section of the bounce, release 3, working it this way, and then keep moving. See how the loft stays on?
Yeah.
And then you can hit a lob shot. All right, so I won't play it, I'll let you play it.
Okay.
Let's see,
that
see
flag over there?
Yeah. This is very similar to the shot we've just done. So you're very much, you're down here. Ball forward a bit more. There you go. Very good. Land like a bag of sugar. That's what we want.
It's the same feeling of connected.
Yeah, really, yeah. Ball gets a bit back though, just a bit more forward for this shot. That's it. Sit down into your knees. Open the face a little bit more because you've lowered the handle. And then you're going to go back. Keep this right arm attached. Okay, and then from there it releases. And then from there keep coming round. Okay. As you're watching the ball go through the air, I want your chest still to be turning.
Okay.
So it doesn't ever stall out. And now it's gone even softer.
Amazing, really.
Yeah, if you've got the low shot, you've got the mid-flight spinner, and you've got the high lob shot, and you've got some IQ, you've got everything you need in short game. Okay, that's all you need really.
Yeah.
You know, to get around any golf course.
You need the bottle to do it when it counts.
Yeah, but I think that comes from technique. I'm a big believer if you're technically good, you should be mentally good.
I totally agree with that. Like, I find myself that transition away from fear to, like, when you stand over and go, watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this, and you almost want people
to...
you
want to try and show off a little bit.
You want that moment, and that comes, I think, I totally agree with you, it comes from a confidence in knowing what you're doing and understanding, what's going to happen with that shot, and then believing you can do it. Yeah,
and paint the picture beforehand as well. I think it's important you have that practice swing and you really visualise exactly what the ball's going to do first.
Yeah.
The brain's got a good way of then trying to make that happen. Yeah, great shot. Look how narrow that is again. It's very much like that bunker shot where it's it's working in there.
So it's very, very similar to the bunker, which is helpful because it's one less shot to remember.
But just show me the release 3. So go just after impact. Don't hit the ball, but just go just after impact and show me where the butty grip should be. Keep going. A bit more. Lay it back. Yeah, more like this. More like that.
Ah, right.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's right. I remember we talked about this feeling of that wrist.
I remember, the one thing I remember actually was when, I think we did it over on the mark, where you were today with Titleist, that's where we used to be on that range there.
Sometimes, yeah. There was a bunker up there.
There's a bunker there. I remember hitting a lob shot once.
Oh, yeah.
And
I still have that video.
Do you remember? Yeah, okay. You've got like a white grip.
I still have it.
And I played a shot like this.
Yeah.
And the ball just went up here.
Yeah.
And in slow motion.
I have that video of you doing it.
Yeah.
I must show you.
Yeah.
It's still on my phone. I don't know how, because I've changed phones so many times. I've lost almost all old content, apart from that one video.
It was just really kind of back here, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it just popped up, yeah.
It lives in perpetuity.
I think it was a 52 as well.
That's obscene.
Yeah, you got it.
Get in the hole.
Yeah, superb. Stone dead.
Yeah.
All right, that's
awesome,
good.
Dan.
No problem there.
Thank you.
All right, great work.
So good to do this with you again. I hope it's not the last time, and congratulations again on everything you're achieving and contributing to the game of golf.
Okay, it's been a pleasure, and good to see you in shape, and keep working on it.
Thank you,
Enjoy
Dan.
it.
Thank you.
Okay.